Hi, I'm your Everyday Joe. Thanks for coming to my channel. Today, I'm going to make my version of American chop suey in the Ninja Foodi. Stay tuned.
If you want to show support to this channel, be sure to click the subscribe button. And to stay up to date on new content, when we release it, ring the notification bell. Now let's get into the video.
The ingredients we're going to be using for the American chop suey is meatloaf mix, which is pork, veal, and ground beef. A half a pound or 8 ounces of shells, one 14-ounce can of chopped tomatoes, half of an onion diced, 2 cloves of garlic minced, some Parmesan grated cheese, a little bit of olive oil, and 2 cups of water for the pasta. The seasonings we're going to be using, some garlic powder, some onion powder, salt, and black pepper. So I've already started the Ninja Foodi on the sear. So you hit the power and saute sear on high just to get it hot enough because we're going to saute the onions, the garlic, and the meat. So we're going to add about a tablespoon of olive oil. Okay, then we're going to add the onions. You want to add the onions first, that way your garlic doesn't burn. Okay, and you can hear the sear in that, the sizzle. So we're just going to let this sear a little bit. I'll break these all down. And you only want to saute these until they're translucent. You don't want to make them too soft. You want them to still have a little bit of a bite to them. Now I know that there's many ways of making American chop suey. It seems like everybody I run into has their own version, their own ingredients that they like using. This is my version of it. Hopefully you guys enjoy it. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to add the garlic in here. Okay, get that all in there. We're going to add a little salt and pepper in here also. You don't want to add too much because we can always add it later. So just about a pinch of salt and some ground black pepper in here. Okay. Give that toss here. We're going to let this saute down for a couple minutes, then we'll add the meat into it. All right, so I'm also going to add a couple of dashes of Worcestershire sauce in here. Now, you don't have to do that. I like the flavor it brings. It gives it a nice roundness to it, nice flavor. So just a couple of dashes in here. And I love the smell of Worcestershire sauce. Okay. And I think we're pretty close to adding the meat here. And I'm using a half a pound, 8 ounces of the meatloaf mix, which is just some ground veal, beef, and pork. So it's a nice mixture. You can, obviously it's good for meatloaf. I use it for meatballs too. So just gonna get that in there and just break it apart. And I'm just using a wooden spoon here to break it all apart and get it all incorporated here. So I want to make sure that it soaks up some of that Worcestershire sauce too. Okay. And I'm going to break it up a little bit. You don't want huge pieces, but you also don't want very small pieces in there too. So we're gonna let this brown a little bit, and I'll bring you back when it's all set. Okay, so the meat is now browned. It's about 99% there, so we're ready, and I don't have a whole lot of liquid here. And another tip here is if you keep stirring while it's sautéing, you'll actually evaporate more of the liquid. So it'll be a little drier for you too. So we're going to take the diced tomatoes, put that in there. All right. And give that a spin. Let it warm up a little bit here. Okay, I'm also going to add a little bit more salt and pepper. Again, we want to layer some of the flavors. Okay. Add a little bit more garlic powder, as I like adding extra garlic. And some onion powder, because we had onion in there, but we're just going to add a little bit more just to kind of enhance it a little bit more with the onion and the garlic flavor. All right. So one of the other things I'm going to use, I've got some crushed Thai chili oil here that I basically just crush up the Thai chilies and add vegetable oil to it, and it's pretty strong. I like my American chop suey a little spicy, so I'm just going to add like a 1/4 teaspoon. I mean, this stuff is real potent. Okay, so that, and put that aside, and we're just going to keep stirring this because we want to make sure we evaporate as much of the liquid right now as we can. Okay, so this is just about done. I mean, the tomatoes, the canned tomatoes, the diced tomatoes, they're already like blanched, so they're already pretty softened. I'm not trying to make soup. I like having the bits. So this is pretty much done. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use a slotted spoon and just pull all of that out so we can cook the pasta. Okay, and it has a little bit of liquid here, but it's okay because what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add that to the pasta. So we're going to flavor the pasta in that liquid. It wasn't a whole lot of fat. It's more of the tomato juice right now. So we're going to pull this out. All right, so I'll put that aside. So now we're going to get the 2 cups of water. I like using hot water. You know, you can use it from the tap hot. It'll help bring it to a boil a little bit faster. So let's turn this back on, and we're going to put it on sear right now just to keep it hot while we set everything else up. So pour the water in here, and I've got about 2 cups of water hot from the tap, and we're going to add the shells. These are just small or medium shells. Okay, get that in there, and all we want to do is make sure that they're all submerged in the water, because we're gonna steam all this, and any of the flavorings that's in that water is going to be absorbed by these shells. So again, it's going to enhance the flavor of the pasta. Okay, so I think that's good. So now we can turn that off for now. We're going to put the top on. You want to make sure that that seal gets pushed in, because every time you pull it off, it tends to come out. So you want to make sure that that's pushed in. Put the lid on, and this is the pressure lid. I'm going to push it down, lock it in place. And we're going to go into pressure on high, and we're going to give it 0 minutes. Okay, we want to make sure your vent is set to seal here, and we're going to start it up. So now it's going to start pressurizing faster because the base is already hot and the water we use is already hot, so it's going to pressurize pretty quick. Probably going to take a couple minutes to get there. Once it gets up to pressure, your pin will go up and lock in place. Then your timer will start going, it'll start counting up. When it does that, we're going to let it count up to about 10 minutes. That's your natural release. And then we're just going to give it a quick release after that and open it up and see what it looks like. All right, now we're just about there. Yeah, we're at 10 minutes, a little over 10 minutes here. So we're going to release the remaining pressure in here. And I'm just going to use this rag here just so I can control the steam. Okay, in the meantime, we'll take a look at my aero garden here. These herbs here just growing fantastically. We're going to use some of these herbs in the final product here. We're gonna add it in. I've already chopped some up here. We're gonna add some mint, some basil, freshly cut into it. So we're almost there, just waiting for the pin to drop. I also have some grated cheese we're gonna put in there. Okay, the pin just dropped. So just going to release it here. And make sure you open it up away from you. Okay, get the liquid out of there. All right, so looks pretty good here. I mean, it's got a little bit of liquid in there, but that's okay because the pasta, as it sits here and kind of cools, it's going to soak that up. We're just going to keep stirring it to evaporate. You can see all the steam evaporating. That's most of that water is going to kind of just evaporate here. So I want to make sure that these are all separated. Okay. Okay, so now we're just going to add the meat that we cooked earlier. We're going to add that all in there. Okay. We're going to add a couple tablespoons of grated cheese. Get that all in there. And the fresh herbs I used from my AeroGarden. Okay, get that all in there. Give it that nice fresh flavor. And we're just going to stir it in there. Okay. So we're going to give it a little taste there. We want to make sure that the flavoring is enough. If we need to add some more salt, we can add it at this point here. So let's need a little bit more salt. Now you can add more cheese into it if you want. That also bring in a little bit more salt and a little bit more pepper. Okay. All right, let's just give this a quick stir here. All right. So at this point here, we're going to turn that off. I'm going to add just a tablespoon of some medium salsa. This is just some chunky salsa, just to give it a little bit of something different. All right. So just going to give it a quick stir. Okay, because don't forget I added that hot oil in here. That's going to give it a little bit of a zing too. All right, so now I'm going to take some mozzarella for the top. Okay. Just maybe a couple of tablespoons, whatever you have. You don't have to use this. This is optional. Okay, but I wanted to do this for air frying because I wanted a little bit of a crust on the top. Turn it on. Go to air crisp, 400 degrees for 5 minutes. Start. So that's gonna, we just want to basically melt the cheese and maybe crisp up some of the edges. So that way it gives it a little bit of a texture difference. It's not all mushed. So you'll have some soft and some crispy sections. And I mean, let's face it, you know, the cheese is only going to improve it. We're going to let this cook for about 5 minutes just to get it melted. And I'll bring you back. We'll plate it up and give it a taste. Okay, so the air crisping just finished. So let's take a look. Perfect, just enough to melt the cheese. If you want it darker or more crispy, go for it. So I'm just going to give it a little bit of a stir here, and you can see that all the liquid pretty much all got absorbed here. So we're going to take a look at that. I mean, come on. I mean, this is my version of a American chopped suey. And come on, let's face it, it only gets better with cheese. All right. So we're going to take that and come on. Now I'm going to hit it with a little bit of this dry seasoning again for flavor. And this came from the AeroGarden, so it's all fresh. And let's give it a taste here. All right, let's get a little bit of everything here. Some cheese, some meat, some shells. That's real good. Get a little bit of that Thai pepper. The Thai chili peppers comes right at the end. It gives you just enough of a little bit of a bite. Not overpowering by no means. You can taste the Worcestershire sauce in the meat. And also in the pasta, because some of that got left over behind and absorbed. So this is my version of the American chop suey, your everyday Joe style. So if you enjoyed the video, give me some thumbs up, comments, share it if you liked it. Also, check out some of the playlists I'll leave on the side here. And if you haven't subscribed, click the globe here with my face on it and go ahead and subscribe. We appreciate you spending some time with us, and we enjoy making these videos for you. So let us know what you think, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks.